Hi, guys. Welcome to another podcast in our channel. Today, it's for me a big honor to have an amazing person, one of the most respected persons in the cybersecurity community. Here we have Phillip Wylie. Phillip, thank you so much for accepting this invitation.
Thanks for inviting me, David. It's an honor.
The honor is mine. Please introduce yourself a little bit. You are author, you are pen tester, you are an evangelist, you are a speaker. Well, you do a lot of things. Please let us know a little bit about you.
Sure. So my background is I've worked in technology and working in IT and cybersecurity for a little over 25 years. I started out as a sysadmin, spent the first 6 years of my career as a sysadmin. And then I found out about cybersecurity, because back in the late 90s, not too many people had security departments. So as I was going through my sysadmin career, I found out about security jobs. And then in 2004, I got invited to join the security team at a company I worked for. So I started out doing network security. So everyone on our team did the same thing. We were doing firewall support, intrusion detection system support, some vulnerability scans and some risk assessments. And the company hired a new CISO, and he had a more modern view of way security groups should be set up. So he put me on the AppSec team, and working in application security is where I found out about pen testing. So I worked in application security close to about 7 years. And when I got laid off in 2012, I applied for a role consulting as a pen tester. So I got into pen testing. So I really found my passion there for security was pen testing. So I've been in pen testing for a little over 10 years. I've worked as an adjunct instructor teaching pen testing, web app pen testing at a college. I did that for almost 4 years. I still teach conference workshops. I worked for a period of time at INE doing cybersecurity training focused on offensive security side of things. I used to work for Point 3 Federal doing some cybersecurity training there. And one of the things I'm most passionate about is community mentoring and teaching and helping others. And the community is so great. I get to meet people like you and others that just make it so much fun. I mean, it's not only my job, it's kind of my hobby too.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? And you mentioned one of my favorite words, passion. Day by day, a lot of people try to enter to cybersecurity, start in cybersecurity, and one of the nice things is that people take cybersecurity as a career change, right? So I know that you love to do mentoring, and we participate in similar groups that work in mentoring for a lot of people. So please share with us the best piece of advice that you can provide for a person that wants to start in cybersecurity.
Yes, the biggest thing I could say is networking with people. Definitely LinkedIn, Twitter's a good resource. Twitter's my go-to resource for technology and cybersecurity information. Used to back in the early 2000s, it was blogs and stuff like that. Now it's Twitter, because people that are creating all these tools, find these vulnerabilities, different security researchers are sharing great content there. And then LinkedIn for the professional networking. LinkedIn is where you're going to get hired. You build your network and you do a good enough job networking. It gets to the point where you really don't have to apply for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
People will come to you. And one of the things I do is people that are my network, if I see they're looking for a job, I'll be happy to post on LinkedIn that they're looking for a job to help them in a career. So really the networking piece, connecting with other people, and even going beyond online. There's a lot of good Discord servers too, but getting out to in-person events, groups like RAICIS, local OWASP group chapters, also DEF CON groups. Depending on, whether for women, there's a lot of good women's group out there. If you're LGBT, there's some groups that support, them as well. So find those groups that resonate to you, but also connect to other groups, because one of the things maybe you're Latino and you're part of RAICIS, but there's value in being part of OWASP and DEF CON. And if you're a woman, being part of some of the women's groups, because the bigger your network is, the more connections you'll make. Because one of the things too, you see some people on LinkedIn that have a lot of followers, but and that's good, but you want to diversify your connections, not only LinkedIn. You want to be meeting people at conferences, these different meetup groups, to know people in real life. And because, you run into these people, like for instance, one of the groups I attend here in Dallas Hackers Association,
Uh-huh.
during the meetings, they will ask who's looking for jobs and who's hiring. If you're part of those groups, people know you, they know you want to be a pen tester, then, your likelihood of getting those roles are going to be better. Because when I was teaching at the college, when in mentoring people, the people that went out to the community, connected with people, really worked on networking, got jobs easier than the people that just got the certifications, took the courses, had a LinkedIn profile. They did better because you're able to meet with people that can get your resume to the hiring manager within those companies.
Totally agree with you. Latest year I was in, besides North Virginia, I spoke in a conference there, and in the booths, people were asking, "Are you a pen tester? Are you a ethical hacker? You want a job?" They are offering. It's amazing to see how the companies offer the people to work with them. Right? Normally it's the opposite. People needs to go and knock the door and say, "Hey, can you hire me?" Blah blah blah. In cybersecurity, it's totally different. In cybersecurity, there is a lack of experts, and that's why I think the market increases day by day.
Yeah, and one of the things too, with in person, people get an idea of how your communication skills are, how you are in person, because you're posting something on LinkedIn. Maybe your writing skills are good, but they get to hear you speak. You get to talk to them, and there's things that they can pick up about your personality
Mm-hmm.
that they can't through LinkedIn. And another thing you have to look at too is look at salespeople. They're not only virtual; they spend a lot of time going to different conferences, different events, these different dinners and things to meet and network with people. They always keep that contact list, and they're always connecting with people, and they're making sales. So
Mm-hmm.
just kind of take a page from their book. You're a salesperson, and you're selling David. You're selling Philip. You're trying to
Exactly.
show people why they should hire you, and you kind
Exactly.
of get to do that.
Totally agree. Totally agree. You need to know a little bit of sales and marketing, because at the end of the day, we are products. Um, Maybe that sounds not so good, but the intention is, it's the most clear and good in the possibilities, because we are products that, and we need to sell what we know, what we do, our capabilities, and for everybody is the same. They need to sell themselves and allow their personality to be shown to the world, show the strong part, the weak part, and at the end, in the interaction, a company decides if you are the person that they are looking for or not.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we're all a personal brand. I mean, it's like anything. When you're
Personal
looking at a
branding.
car, you look at the brochure on all the options and stuff too. So people need to be able to find the same thing. When hiring manager is trying to make a decision, they're looking at the different qualifications you have. You have certifications. Do you have a degree? You
Mm-hmm.
volunteer at these different organizations. You present at conferences. You do, walk through videos on YouTube. You're doing blog posts and all these different things. So it's just everything you got just kind of helps sell yourself.
Exactly. And you are inviting an entire universe with each person. And sometimes at the end of the day, the decision is going to be executed based in feelings, right? This person and this person have similar qualifications, similar certifications or capabilities, but this guy have a better personality, or it's makes more jokes, or I don't know, presents better vibes. I don't know. So people or companies maybe decide in that case.
Yeah, I totally
Perfect.
agree.
Philip, you mentor a lot of people, as we mentioned before, and one of the most recurring question is, what kind of knowledge is the knowledge required to at least start? Because we start learning. I know that you study a lot. By myself, I normally study 2 hours a day. I think you do similar, and we never stop, right? If you decide to be a penetration tester, ethical hacker, etc., you decide to travel across an infinite path. We're never going to stop learning. It's one of the most beautiful parts, but for some people, they don't have the commitment sometimes, or they get tired. But when you are starting, you need at least fundamentals, the basement. Tell us a little bit about the recommendations, about the foundations that you provide to your mentees.
Sure. One of the things I recommend, and if this is kind of like if you're going to be a generalist pen tester or you're just kind of not specialized, you one of a good path to look at is, and Professor Messer offers free videos on this, like the A plus certification, Network Plus. There's even the Pentest Plus content, but just to get started, stuff like the A plus, Network Plus, Security Plus to learn those basics. And then once you have that foundation, then learning how to hack things, because you have to understand the technology, first of all, to be able to defend it and to be able to break into it. So, people like you or myself, we spent so many years in IT before we moved into security that we understood that thing. Someone just starting out may not have all those years of IT, but they don't have to spend those years. They just need to learn the skills. So understanding Linux and Windows from a sysadmin level is important, because if you get a shell to one of those types of servers, you got to understand the command line. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a lot of Googling. There's nothing wrong with doing Googling and research, but you got to build up that base knowledge. So understanding fundamentals of networking and operating systems are going to be helpful. And then also too, starting out, it depends on what your background is. If you worked in web development, then your best path is going to be web application pen testing. So you're kind of a step ahead of someone coming in from nothing, because you can take those web development skills and then start learning how to pen test applications. Start studying things like the OWASP Top 10, using the OWASP testing guide to test, applications. But if you have like a sysadmin background, then maybe you're more fit for network pen testing, or if you have a cloud background. So if you're just getting started out too, some of the technologies I would really focus on is cloud, because some of the people that have been in it for a while didn't really get into cloud. Cloud is one of those areas that they're still needing people with cloud experience. So that may be a good way to learn cloud and then learn cloud pen testing.
Totally agree. Cloud is in developing, and we need cloud pen testers. It's at the same time OT. It's another field that requires a lot of people right now. So you enjoy a lot of the mentoring. What is one of the best things about mentoring people? Why it's, or what kind of motivation you have to do this? Because it's a lot of commitment. Not everybody receives in the same way. Sometimes you start with a lot of expectations or high expectations, but the people starts very good, but then they start feeling tired, or maybe they don't want to continue in the path. So what is the opinion that you have about it?
Yeah, sure. For me, I love mentoring. It's interesting because in 2018, I started teaching January 2018. I'd done some mentoring. I would share resources for people wanting to become pen testers. And then, so it just kind of made sense. The opportunity came up to be able to teach pen testing. And so when I got into that, one of the things I looked at too, is I used to be competitive. I was a power lifter. And I used to work in jewelry sales and always try to be the best jewelry salesperson. And in pen testing, full disclaimer here, I was never the best, or I would consider myself one of the best. I could do it, but I knew trying to be at a certain level gets kind of difficult as you get older, because it's harder to stay up really late, put in all the hours. Because when I was going through the OSCP, I would get done with my work day and I would sometimes study till 3 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning. And it's hard for me to do that anymore. I've got to have at least 5 or 6. 5 hours sleep is not optimal. I really need about 6. So it's hard for me to do that. But one of the things I learned is focus on my strengths. What do I do best? I'm a better teacher and mentor. And so I focus on those things, because the world needs, teachers, mentors, and coaches. And so I'm able to help in that way. I enjoy the success, but when you're able to help a bunch more people, you're able to celebrate a lot more successes. When you're able to walk someone else through getting their first cybersecurity job or pen testing job, that feels good. It feels better than, when you reach one of your little goals, you're able to help someone else do it. And I used to, through powerlifting, I used to write up workout routines for people, whether they're just wanting to get in shape or compete in powerlifting, and that's okay. You help someone hit their personal best on the bench press. The
Mm-hmm.
feeling of that doesn't last that long or have that much of an impact. But when you're able to help someone improve their life, they're able to provide better for themselves and their family. That's just one of those things that just never goes away. It stays with you. It stays with the person you help.
Of course,
You're
that's
also
agree.
instilling that type of mentality of giving and helping others. And we need more of that in the world. And the more we can be examples, help others, then hopefully they'll do the same thing and spread that love.
Of course, all the victories are important, right? All the wins are important and should be celebrated. Well, let's wrap up. I know that your time is limited. I appreciate so much your time here. And for wrap up, mm, give us the last message, but a live message. I'm not talking about knowledge. I'm not talking about the technical stuff. You are a person that I respect, I admire, and the community admire you as well. I want your piece of advice, but in the life level. Which one will be?
Yeah, what I would say is be a good person, be kind to others, kind of in the spirit of the message I just gave on mentoring, is be good to others. Attitudes are infectious. I mean, if you get mad at someone, you yell at them, they yell back. They've gone on in a bad mood. You kind of probably put them in a bad mood for the rest of the day. It's contagious. Attitudes are contagious. You're driving to work, someone cuts you off, and you get mad or whatever, and these different things that affects your day. But at the same time, if you do a good deed, you hold the door for someone. And if you ever notice this when you're out somewhere, you hold the door for someone, then sometimes they return that favor. So just kind of helping instill kindness and being nice to others. We need this in this world because, our country has been very divided in recent years. And we just need to all realize that regardless of what your religious beliefs or political beliefs are, we're all human at the core and we need to be good to each other.
Amazing words. Totally agree. Well, Philip, thank you so much for everything, your time, your advice, your experience. People maybe sometimes, or maybe my followers don't know that you are a powerlifting guy. So not only pen tester, it's a very strong guy. So, man, thank you so much for this time, this interview, and I hope we can meet again in this space and see you in DEFCON, bro.
Well, thanks for having me. It was an honor.
The honor is mine. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here with us, and see you in the next video. Bye.